Welcome. This isn't your average movie podcast. We go where no man has gone before.
You know what I'm craving? A little perspective.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, say something, goddammit! You're on television! You're live to the whole world!
Join us as we review movies new and old. You're tuned into Lupo's Cinema Symposium. Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite movie podcast on the Real Pod Network, Lupo's Cinema Symposium. After a long wait, I've been getting so many notes and letters from you fans, of course. I also am a pathological liar and mentally insane. I am your host, Lupo, a.k.a. your father. I'm here joined, as always, by my two, what do you call it? Cinephiles? Robbie and Christian, as always.
Hello.
Guys, how you doing?
Good. Very good. Doing pretty good.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
I this is season 2, right? I'm gonna call it season 2. A self-imposed hiatus for absolutely no reason. But it's nice to get back into it, watch some movies, crack open a cold one, and chow down on some super young Clint Eastwood. It was very nice to see because I've only seen him in movies where he was super duper old and leathery and wrinkly.
Jimmy, what
Yeah.
was the season 1 opener? What was the season 1 opener of this
Listen,
podcast?
you know how it's like, you know how sometimes shows will just disappear and then they just come back like nothing ever happened.
Time
is
a flat circle.
Like we're
All right. Well, I just want to add it was Dirty Harry, which was not Yeah. that much longer after this one.
Oh, really?
A decade at the most.
Wow. Huh. It's funny because I don't really like when you don't watch a lot of movies, you don't think about like actors like that. Like I didn't really watch a lot of movies enough where I could be like, oh yeah, like I've seen it in Clint Eastwood movies. Like this is like my second one.
He also
Maybe third
plays
one.
as older in that one, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
I think it's about a decade apart. It could be more. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because I guess because I saw he's in $1 Million Baby, right?
Yeah, he's directed it too.
Oh wow, look at that, double duty. I don't even know what. I don't
Yeah,
even
where
know
were
what
you
started
going with
all
this? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I don't remember what you were saying.
Huh.
You were talking about young Clint Eastwood. That's
Yes.
what it was.
So yeah, he was super young. Of course, the movie is A Fistful of Dollars. I will also be splicing in the footage of the duck race, the 10-second duck race, so that will be playing as we're speaking of how we chose that movie because I finally got everybody together because they were just waiting on me to actually do it. So we finally picked the movie and we watched it. And we obviously have some thoughts and we're gonna talk about it. But before we actually get into the movie, I kind of want to ask you guys a couple questions just around the film. So like, it's dubbed, right?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Okay. Because when I first watched it, I watched like 30 minutes of it on my own, and then I went over to Robbie's to watch the movie. So I thought that on the streaming website that I was watching it, I didn't know if it was just one of them things where it'll buffer for like just a second, and then the audio track is like a half second behind what's going on the screen. So that makes a lot of sense.
Are you familiar with the term spaghetti western? Do you know that that's what this is?
No. What about it is spaghetti?
So this is the first movie that really like. Oh, go ahead, Rob, if you want to take it.
Well, so this is Italian, Jimmy. You know that. I was telling you about Sergio Leone.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Italian, obviously. So they differentiated them. First, it was macaroni western, and then it evolved into spaghetti western. It's just where it's made. It's eventually they kind of a lot thanks to Leone. They kind of carved out their own style, but it has more to do with like location. It's like how people differentiate like anime from like American animation, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll add to that to your dub question.
Uh-huh.
The way these movies were filmed was in the European style at the time. Was every actor would do the dialogue in their spoken language.
What?
So this movie was actually filmed without sound, and then all the actors dubbed it in later. Like Clint Eastwood's voice that you hear is not him speaking in that scene. It's him going back later and basically dubbing himself over.
I was gonna say that must be a very confusing. Like, you're an actor, so you have to follow your lines. But
From everything I
Well,
read, it drove Clint Eastwood up a wall.
yeah, like you hear some shit
Um,
that you don't have any idea, and then you're just supposed to respond
it's
Obviously,
cohesively.
like-
harder. It's harder. The harder thing than that is the people that aren't speaking English. You have to figure out words that kind of match what you're trying to say, that also kind of match the mouth, so it's not super like jarring when you see it. Like there are times in these movies, like all three of these, or all the Leon movies, where like you'll see they didn't get it quite right because like there's just nothing you can really they could match it perfectly with,
yeah.
So like it's actually the easier thing is probably matching up Clint Eastwood's English to his English. It's still challenging, but like I'd rather do that than try and make Italian English.
Yeah, and then one of the other questions I had. So I'm looking at I looked at the Wikipedia after I saw the movie, and the whole thing about Yo Jimbo and all that.
Oh, I got this
Have you
one.
guys seen that movie?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
this one. So if you watch the duck race again, Yojimbo is actually in the duck race, which I thought I didn't even notice Fistful was in there till after it won. So I thought that was hilarious. Yojimbo is a movie by Akira Kurosawa, Jimmy. I think I've recommended a lot of his movies for this podcast. None of one yet. He's a very like film bro kind of director, I guess you could say. Like now, I don't know if Rob would agree.
Well, yeah. So like his whole thing is he's Japanese, but his stories are very like um, multicultural, like in their like essence. Like he pulls a lot from like Shakespeare and like
Western
different like
literature,
all yeah. So
Japanese folklore. Like he's a blend of things. He's actually more successful in like America than he ever was in Japan at the time. And I'm not sure if that persists into the current day. But so for Yojimbo, it's interesting. He pulled from what I can remember reading about this. He pulled from like noir novels for Yojimbo. I think that was called Red Harvest, and I forget the Glass Key. I should have wrote this stuff down.
you're right. I think I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah. So Yojimbo did very well, and Sergio Leone actually wrote an unofficial remake of Yojimbo, and that is Fistful of Dollars. There was actually a big lawsuit around the time of the movie's premiere, and I think Akira Kurosawa got some sort of percentage of like the sales for Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, it says he got
So-
15%.
Yeah. See, so and I'm sure there's like distributing rights and stuff in there for like Japanese markets and stuff. But yeah, no, they're pretty much the exact same movie. It's really interesting to watch them back to back.
See, I don't know. I don't. They are really similar, but I never felt like I don't know. I feel like it's such a like not it's basic and kind of a universal story. So it's like I feel like how can you say like it's although it is like so similar, it's obvious they're pulling from that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
You see
it's
all
a
kinds
lot.
of stuff that's just copycat and like that never gets the same treatment. So I don't know. Whatever.
Like you watch them like back to back, and you will because I have, and it's really funny how similar they are.
Not to sound like stereotypical?
It's a lot stronger of an argument. Oh, sorry.
Not to sound stereotypical, but is it like I understand he's a Japanese guy, but is it like this is a Western? Was that one like a samurai would like walk
Yes, it
into?
was a samurai movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, set almost the exact same time.
Huh.
And that movie kind of was like, even though it was a samurai movie, it was kind of like a Western in a way. Like it was pulling from Western influences, you know?
And actually,
Yeah, I think it's an interesting dialogue between like Western movies versus Eastern movies.
So do you like that one more? Would you say you like Yojimbo more?
No. I really like Yojimbo, but
Yeah, I agree. I love that movie, but I this one, I think I just love Sergio Leone movies, man. I don't know. Every one of them that I've seen, it's like I just absolutely love them.
I think if I were to pit it versed on sections, like everything would probably win on the Fistful side by like just a hair. Maybe other than main actor. I think Toshiro Mifune is a little bit more suited to that than Clint Eastwood was for just this movie specifically.
See, I feel the opposite. I feel like this is the best out, even though this is not my favorite of his three movies, of these three movies. I think he's the best in this one versus the other two. Because the other two, he kind of plays like a role more as like, I don't know that he's as central, you know, like he's a co-star in the second one. And then the third one, it's very much like an ensemble.
Yeah.
And he's probably in the third one, like the least interesting one, I would say.
Is the third one your favorite?
Yeah. And it's it's by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah. The second one's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. They all do different things and they do them well. It's like they all fill a role. They're not like overly similar where like it's just the same movie over and over again, but they're also they fill a role in the series. So it's like I could say any of them.
Like how good of a trilogy this is for movies that have almost nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
I don't Jim, what stood out to you?
there were a lot of things for like so there was a lot that was going on in the beginning. That first scene where they pull up and it's like the kid running over to the other building, when they explain zero context to it, I just thought this was a completely non sequitur. Like I just thought it was just to establish like, oh look, here's the character and it's a hard world out here. Like I thought it was a kid going to like steal food from his neighbor and almost like getting like shot for it because they were like making him dance in the dirt and all that. So I didn't really understand that at first. I like the sound design. It reminds me of Tom and Jerry in a way. So that made me I really like that.
It's a lot of westerns.
Yeah, and that and just because I think this is what 1964 or 5 or something like that. So like the movie techniques, it's very interesting. So the movie techniques, people were like not getting shot, but they would like grab at their chest and fall to the ground. But Robbie was telling me they have the technology to have like the flame retardant gel. So like there's like a couple scenes where like a dude would fall in fire and just be on fire. And I'm like, how is he not like burning alive right now?
I know, so I don't know if that's how they did it then. I know that's how they do it now. They have that like flame retardant gel, but I don't think that has changed. I think that would have been the same back then.
Or like one of those big heavy jackets.
Right, yeah, but in the scene he's talking about, I feel like it was like their head and everything like was on fire. It was like kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this the end? Like towards the end?
Yeah.
Because that is one of the most comical endings ever, and I love the ending of this movie.
Yeah.
When they're all just coming out of the house and Clint Eastwood is shooting them.
I love the villain in this movie. I feel like he's like so like he's very dark in a way, but at the same time, the performance is so like West Side Story, like big, and it's kind of like a funny juxtaposition between the two things. And I think it was really entertaining. I don't know if you guys got that because like the guy, I feel like he's just so um, like he feels very like theatery almost like versus like Clint Eastwood. It's like very matter of fact, like, and I think that's why some of the humor works too.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I do enjoy. I don't know if I've not watched enough westerns to kind of tell, but there was like a good bit of like intentional like comedy here, and it really had me cracking up at some points. So yeah, like that ending scene where they were just all getting like blown out. The random scenes where he was in the bed and then he just gets out of bed and he was fully dressed, and even like the other character comments on it. He's like, "Are you just that's
Oh
how
yeah,
you sleep like that?"
yeah, I forgot about that.
And then when they go to check the carriage of the Mexican army for like the gold, and he like goes to stick his head in, and just a revolver comes out. A lot of that stuff, as like unintended intended, was a good note. I like that.
You know, it's funny you were saying it's just a lot of guys grabbing their chest and falling. Um, I don't know if this was the first. I know it's probably one of the first more popular movies, but a lot of the time in westerns, you did not see people actually get shot. Before this, like John Wayne movies, it would be like you see the gun go off, right, and then you see the person fall. Is was a very popular thing. I'm not saying it never happened, but like it
Yeah,
definitely happens more in this movie than it did in like a lot of its predecessors.
Yeah.
yeah. But it is interesting why they didn't have like because they definitely had
Like
the
squibs.
technology to do that. I mean, because they had it in the Kurosawa movies, but
Yeah.
I guess maybe it just wasn't like
Well, I don't know. I don't even know
It
if
probably wasn't logistically. I mean, considering how they like shot the movie with like the audio, maybe they just thought it would be like too much
yeah, I mean because shooting without
planning and
sound. Yeah.
yeah. And this way, they're just like just shoot it and they get the idea basically.
Yeah, you put a
It's
gunfire
very
sound
like
and go. "Eh."
yep, yeah, exactly.
You know what really scared me though? When they did any scene involving like that main scene on the river with like the minigun or like the turret
Oh
gun,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. When people were like falling from their horse, because there was at least one or two shots where like the horse like fell on the dude because the horse took a dive. I was very concerned.
Yeah, but the horse isn't really falling. The horse is trained to like basic to follow a specific way. Like the horses aren't like actually being shot. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. It's just a way
They're
that it was
not
happening.
falling like recklessly, but they're falling kind of like I
Still,
think in
man.
a way so that the guy doesn't get hurt.
There
I
was
think
at
they're
least
trained
one or
that way.
two. There's at least one or two where that dude looked like he got fucking thrown in an
Well,
unsafe
I'm
way.
sure it's still dangerous, and I'm sure
Yeah.
people still got hurt. Like
Mhm.
especially back then, they were a lot less like, um,
Up to code.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was saying like, "Yo, I'm surprised like and none of these like yeah, I guess the animals are trained to fall that way, but I'm like I'm surprised like none of these horses because you can see like an extended shot like outwards, so you can kind of see a lot of movement going on, and it looks like none of the horses got hurt. I was so surprised. I was like, at least one horse had to have gotten hurt. There's no way.
It's, it's movie magic, dude.
Yeah, and then Rob was saying that uh they kind of learned pretty early to not really harm a lot of the
Yeah,
animals.
I mean, and you got to think the
Yeah,
things that they were doing with horses and stuff. Like, I mean, they've been making westerns since movies were a
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's like the one of the oldest genres. I feel like,
Yeah, Great Train
yeah,
Robbery was that like
yeah,
1903 or something
yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
So,
Oh,
what was your favorite scene, Jim? Like, because I think of this movie, the first thing I think of is like how many memorable, like, quotable scenes I feel like are in this. I want to know like which one like stood out to you like the most. I would say.
Probably my favorite was the scene at the graveyard the second time they show up there, where he brings both of the Baxters and the whatever.
Yeah,
the
and they're the dead
Rojos.
bodies on the grave.
Rojos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of, in that short, like maybe 5 minutes or so, you literally have everything that like you need in that movie all in like one thing. So you got like good storytelling because you have a setup from the main character, like manipulating both of the gangs as he does basically throughout the whole movie. You have action because they're shooting at each other. There's humor in just the way that the scene was presented. Just kind of, like people, grabbing their chest and dying. There's also like an extended shot or like multiple cuts of like a close up of the character's face, like angrily making like a mean face and shooting, followed by cutting immediately to another character making a mean face and shooting. They did it at least 6 times in like this one little section. And then like the actual kind of like funny bit of the one character like shooting the already dead soldiers so that he like gets away with whatever he's trying to get away with. That whole thing was probably my favorite. There are, obviously there are like the other scenes, like the ending scene was pretty good too, with like the standoff between the rifle and
the thing I like about that is they establish in the beginning, which is my favorite scene, the whole, the mule, like my mule doesn't like you. He might think you're laughing at him. I don't think that's nice. You're laughing. Scene. Yeah. So they establish in that scene, like this guy can outshoot anybody. So like based on that, you would think, okay, in the end, it's just going to be a firing match in the end. And it sort of is, but like the whole like plate on his chest and everything, it kind of like, it's a nice subversion of like that expectation where like it's kind of
and that is
unexpected.
A direct reference to Marty McFly doing the same thing.
Yeah. And where was I going with that? What were you saying?
Sorry.
No, that's me. I got lost in my own
lost in the sauce. It happens.
Train of thought. Yeah.
You would think that it was going to a big shootout at the end, the way it starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think that's all I was saying.
And I will say that it's probably my favorite scene too, especially if you count the dialogue, the couple lines that he says to the coffin maker.
3 coffins, and then he's like, "Yeah,
my
sorry,
mistake,
it's 4."
Should have said 4.
Yeah, I love that. Good. It's so funny, but it also is tough at the same time. You're like, damn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The other thing I know me and Jimmy liked a lot, and I never noticed it before. This is what's fun about watching stuff with Jimmy. He looks at it so differently. Whenever Clint Eastwood would run into the woman, like there was like such a like there would just be like a 3 second like they would just hold on his face, and it's like the most like
he
funny
looked at her up and
ever.
Down. He dressed her down with his eyes.
That being said, though, he has a great face for this movie. Like it's just.
I just think it's funny. It feels so sexual, like their interactions. But then in the end, it's like super altruistic and like, here, I'm saving you to be with your family. Like, I was a good guy the whole time.
I'm gonna stop
but
you
I
from
like
getting
that they do
now.
that.
I feel like that's probably like script notes that someone was reading. Is like, we got to make this a little bit more like digestible.
But I like it because they play it in an interesting way. It's like in the beginning, you're not sure if he's just like an ambivalent like guy, like because he kind of seems like he's very hard to read. You're not sure why he's doing anything. Like, is he just trying to make money? Is he, yeah. And then in the end, it is revealed, like when he gives them the money, it's like, oh, that's why he was doing all that, like so he could help them, and it like changes how you look at him. And I think it is really interesting. So I'm glad however they came to like make the story that way. I like that they did it.
It does give it a little touch of nuance in a smart way. I think you're right.
Because sometimes people think like just having a guy be like, rather than be black or white, make the character more gray. Like that just automatically makes it interesting, but it doesn't.
Mhm.
Like
No, but
it,
somehow
it,
they
it-
were able to play off both. Like
Yeah.
they were able to get away with both in this one.
yeah, definitely.
You know what was a good bit?
I will say,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No. I
Okay.
insist. You go ahead.
All right, I will say the guy who plays Ramon in this one,
Yeah.
is one of the lead characters in the sequel, Jimmy,
Ooh.
and he does like he's so good in this, but he does he's my favorite character from the second one, like by far.
I agree. I think he's way better in the second one, and he's already really good in this. But I think the second one,
He acted the
they
shit out of
must,
that.
yeah, they must have seen like how good he was in this because he does a lot with a little kind of. And in the second one, they give him a lot more to do,
Yeah,
and it's a lot
he's
more. It's a lot less like in this. There's like, well, I don't want to give away the story to the second one, so let me just not say anything. But I'll just say he
He's a good
has a
villain.
way more developed character in the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is probably like one of my favorite movie villains ever in the second one.
I was about to say we should probably maybe next time we should nominate what do you call it, like another two of the movies because
Yeah.
we've seen three. No, we've seen two. What do you call them? Trilogies, unofficial trilogies. What are we calling them?
Have we?
What was the other one?
The British movie that we saw, Hot Fuzz, was like part of a
Oh yeah,
three-
the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like that, and then there's this one. So we should knock them out at some point.
Want to watch all of the Dirty Harrys?
There's more
Yeah.
than one.
There's
Yeah,
like
there's a
there's a
ton.
bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's not do
Yeah,
that.
they're not good.
Huh.
They're really bad.
Hmm.
I don't even like the
We
first
definitely-
one.
We definitely talked about it too.
Well,
Yeah,
but that was
we already
that
forgot.
was season 1. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
I think it might have been more than a year ago now. It's crazy to think about.
I think it probably was. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits throughout the movie is the way that they position themselves in the movie. So like when he knocks out the chick and he's like and he realizes the other gang is like coming back to their hideout, and he goes to like run around the corner, and it just cuts to him. It starts earlier in the movie, but it cuts to him just like not hiding behind the corner. And so me and Robbie were just doing a bit where anytime he basically like is trying to hide because he's hiding in like that major like block of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it was working, where it was just like
The staging of it and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
he's just like, hey, look, there he is behind that corner, or like when
Yeah.
he was like crawling on the ground. There he is behind
So
that
like
fence.
he's always just barely out of sight, and like he always has the cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
And like you can just imagine if they put the camera on the other side, you just see a puff of smoke.
Oh,
coming-
that's what he
coming
did.
from
That's what he
around
did
the
when he was
corner.
hiding behind
Yeah.
the wall in the beginning of
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
He was hiding behind the wall, but he blew a puff of smoke into the window.
Oh, yeah,
What's
that
up
was
behind
that
that
was
wall?
funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like standard though, just have like a level of camp, I guess, in these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
It makes it fun. Like Jimmy, to your point earlier, where it's like it is almost a little bit Looney Tune esque, with the gunshot sounds and like the gun barrels coming out of windows.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Well-
honestly, this is probably where Looney Tunes got it. Like movies like this.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what I love about this. It's so, it like if you watch like a Ford Western, it's such a different thing. Like it's so grounded to like, even though it's not really they're not historical either, really, but it's grounded to like the idea of like the American frontier and everything. This is so like, it's something else entirely. It's like turning it into like mythological, like almost like superhero like type shit, like where it gets very silly and it gets very fun, and it's like it's almost
pulpy.
like, yeah, it's almost like, I don't know why this is popping in my head. This to like westerns is like Die Hard to like cop movies. I feel like it's like you can see like, yes, it ticks the boxes, but it's like it's also something else. Like it's not just that. It's
I mean, we could
reaching
probably go
another
on
level.
forever talking about like Ford movies versus this and like how they are such a departure, but it's interesting that they have all this common DNA within them as well.
Yeah.
Side note, I cannot separate John Ford in my mind from David Lynch.
No, I can't either anymore.
And I don't even like that movie that much.
I was gonna say the same thing. I don't really like that movie. I mean, it's fine. It's like a
But
whatever movie.
he does such a good job of being what I assume John Ford was.
That might be one of the best performances. That's like only one scene in a movie. Like,
Yeah, he like when you look at his performance history, it's not very big, but David Lynch is just awesome.
yeah,
Which I'll probably speak more on at a later time because a big David Lynch guy.
Gonna have to recommend some of the movies.
Oh, Jim,
Oh.
I don't know if we're equipped to do a
my.
podcast on David Lynch quite yet.
Oh, that would be crazy. I don't
And I
know.
don't think Robbie is like the biggest David Lynch person.
Yeah, I honestly, I am not. I'm not. I don't hate his movies. It's just like, well,
You either love him or you don't, I think.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think any way you approach it is fine. I happen to be a big David Lynch fan, but I'm not like, no, this is objectively the best thing ever. Like, I just like them. They resonate with me.
yeah. And
But
honestly, I think that's
it's
how
something
people.
incommunicatable. Like,
Yeah,
that's not a word, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't communicate why it resonates with me. And I think that's kind of a shared trait between all the people who like David Lynch is like, you're like, I can't put my finger on it, but I like him.
yeah. I feel like that's how people should look at all movies, though, and they don't really. But that's a whole other issue.
I will say watching David Lynch movies has made me better at watching movies.
Well, you have to be patient to watch those, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and it probably makes you like you're more attentive and like detail oriented.
Yeah, and I think the opposite is also true, where you have to be sometimes like very big picture oriented to watch these,
True.
and kind of
Yeah.
What's the word? So it's like not analytical, but more emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different muscle.
I think yeah, it is. And Jimmy, I will work towards that to figure out which one would be like a good entry point because I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Come back for
Race
season
ahead.
3. Yeah, come back for season 3 when we watch all of Twin Peaks.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh my God, man! If there is one I don't like, it's probably that show. That show was brutal.
That's crazy.
I mean, I never finished it, so it's probably not fair to say it was brutal. But like, I tried to watch it, and I had a really hard time. But anyway,
that's one of those things. Like, if he had lived to be 300, the show wouldn't be finished anyway. It's
yeah,
you know, it was built to be unfinished, I think.
yeah.
But so you're probably like, we'll get off that for now. But yeah, Jim, I'll work on that. Which one I think would be a good. I don't even know.
Jim, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, and put yourself in. When did this come out? 1964. Put yourself in 1964. You just saw this in the theater. Okay. Are you like anticipating a follow up? Like, how badly would you like? How much did you like this? Where you'd be like, oh, I really want to see like more of this.
Like I would think the movie is fun. The movie is. I would have been like, yeah, that was a solid movie for I got my $1.25 worth of entertainment. I don't know what I probably could buy a house with the other 75 cents, but yeah, I think I would want to see another movie. I just wouldn't know how that would manifest or like how like it. So the next movie, you don't have to really tell me the plot, but does it like follow the same character, just doing something else, or is it like?
I think you should see for yourself. If you want,
I
if
can
you want to
say
see
this.
more of this,
I can say this: you can watch these movies as completely detached or connected. It's all up to you, and nothing is definitive. If you watch it as being connected, it does get confusing because the villain in this like is the actors reused again.
Oh, so
So,
it's like
like, that's the
how can
only
he be
thing. Like,
alive when he was killed in the first movie?
actors get reused into different roles. So it's like you kind of have to look at it as like sort of I mean,
It gets real
spiritual like
confusing
sequel. You know,
Yeah.
it's
between
not
the
really. Yeah, it's
between the
not
second
really
and third.
definitive.
It gets real confusing because no one in the world looks like Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah.
And like watching him not only play a different character, looking like Lee Van Cleef, but in the same outfit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's right. That's right.
it's just mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
Hmm. Um,
So
do you have any other comments about the movie, or do you want to do the rating, or
We
what
didn't
do you
talk.
got?
We didn't talk about something I think is really important to talk about.
the
Oh my god.
music. Yeah, the
The
music.
music. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it other than it's really good. I think his best score is probably the third one, but this
Yes.
one is also really, really good. And honestly, even the second one,
Yeah.
I think the second one's also probably better than this one. But this one is really good, and it does everything you need it to. And I don't know if you, I mean, so one of the things about Sergio Leone is how like much he. I think I keep switching back and forth between Leone and Leone.
Yeah. We
But
don't know.
whatever. One of the things about him that's like so interesting is Christian. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you know, I think he's like an early adapter of like editing to music and like music being a big part of like the editing process and like how he shoots stuff. So
I think
His
for a
colla-
Western, yes, you're right.
yeah. So I
Because if you
think
look
for
back
like
at horror,
go ahead.
they've been doing that the whole time.
That's true. Yeah. But as a collaborator, like Ennio Morricone is so important to these movies. Like you could, I mean, actually, I would say it's inarguable that he's more important than even Clint Eastwood because I mean he goes and does Once Upon a Time in the West and
Love that movie.
yeah, and these other movies and they also work really well and a lot of it has to do with the music. So it also has to do with like obviously his style and everything. He has a very distinct style that I think gets better with time. But yeah, I think the music is so important. And then just with this movie, I mean, I think his style is not fully fleshed out. Like you start to see him do. I mean, he does utilize the close-ups of the eyes and everything in this, but it's not as like you'll see it a little bit more in the third one. But this one, I think the script is so good because I mean, it's Yo Jimbo. It's a very simple story, and like you can easily get behind it. And I just think it's so good. It just works really well as a movie. It's like
I want to add to that.
everything about it is good.
I want to add to that just a little bit, because you did touch on it, but the cinematography in this is fucking nuts for a Western.
Yeah,
Like at the time, like so much camera movement. Not only the way it's framed, right? Like you get a lot of great frames in this movie, and just like like how the picture is set up, but like the movement of the camera in this is nuts for the time. Like the whipping close ups, I think are in this one, right?
yeah,
And just like a lot of westerns were like, okay, here's a stage, we're gonna point a camera at you. Especially like a lot of early westerns, right? Like
a
where
lot
the
of wide
action,
shots too,
a
like
lot of wide shots,
shots.
yeah, a lot of establishing shots and stuff like that. And it's like people are moving in frame, but with this, the camera is moving with the characters a lot of the time, and it is really unique.
Yeah,
Like he has his own style, and again, it does in part like owe a lot to the editing of these movies.
it makes it feel more alive. And I think the reason they're able to move the camera like that is because he's
They're
not as
outside.
concerned with like the little things like we're talking about, the blood splats and like that they don't have and like the audio tracks matching and like I think that he maybe wasn't as concerned with like kind of like we were talking about with Lynch, like the details, but like the spirit of the movie, like that's what he wants to get right. That's what he's worried about, and I think that's why his movies are so great. Like
Yeah,
you feel the spirit of the movie.
Yeah, I think again, I'm thinking about Once Upon a Time in the West. Um, as like a great example, the opening scene of that movie is the only time I can think where he really, really lingers in one place very long to get an establishing shot.
I'm trying to think of what you're talking about, but
The beginning of Once Upon a Time in the West is very like he'll. It's not even wide shots though, so it's interesting because he'll like show you a couple frames of like a windmill, and then it'll
Mhm.
stay there for like 10 seconds, and then it'll move
Okay, I see
to
what you're saying.
a train
Yeah,
station. Right? It's not there's not like you said like wide establishing shots.
yeah. Well, this one, that's why I think it's interesting. They're all different. Like this one is more energetic in that way, and like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Once Upon a Time in the West are very different. Like there is more like it's more grand and like bigger scope, and there are more establishing shots, and it does kind of sometimes. Although both of them have the capability to be like kind of snappy like this, like they do at
This and the
times when
second
they
one are
need
very
to.
very snappy.
Yeah, and when they need to, those two movies do take their time, and it's effective. Like in the third one, and that one, that opening scene you're talking about, in Once Upon a Time in the West, that's another great example of when that patience that he sometimes has is really effective. But well, when we inevitably get to those movies in 15 years, when we're still doing
Yeah.
this,
It's
we'll
interesting.
talk more about that.
It's something that I feel like Tarantino tried to emulate and didn't do and I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but
He doesn't
didn't
have the
do.
patience.
No,
He doesn't have
exactly.
the patience. Yeah, he gets the aesthetic of it and everything, but I don't. And he does have a good clock for like, I feel like audience attention, but he's not a patient filmmaker. I would say. I mean, very. He's like
Speaking of,
ADD. Yeah,
it's really funny now to watch him get shit on for everything recently, but that could be another podcast altogether.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, he is what he is. You know.
Yeah, he's just him.
Yeah. It's there's positives and negatives, and he makes movies that are really entertaining, and I don't really have a gripe about it. He is what he is.
But it's interesting because you can see some, I mean, definitely some Sergio Leone influence there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, the one I think you can see it the most in is Kill Bill,
Yeah, I
as
mean, I
opposed to
think
like Hateful Eight, which you would think would
yeah,
be more similar, but it's not.
yeah.
I'm just talking like cinematography wise, not
I'm
story or.
thinking even like Inglorious Bastards a little bit, although that's like
You get a lot of good camera whips in that movie as well.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. I'm spent on that. I mean, I don't think we missed anything.
I love this movie.
Yeah. So, Jim, do you want to give your review or rating or whatever?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing.
Okay.
There was a cat in the film. That's
I
all.
don't even remember that.
Yeah, when they go to her house, her like cage, her little cage house that he like kills the dudes in and then busts it all up. There was a cat. That's
Oh
all I have to
yeah,
say about
that
that.
I don't know why I forgot or why this popped into my brain, but it's also very silly. There's one thing in the movie that's very, very silly, and it's this fucking barrel.
Yeah.
They have a ramp. It just rolls down and crushes the guys to death. That is like when you're talking about Looney Tunes. I mean, that is Looney Tunes. That is just
Yeah.
so
Uh,
silly.
Again, I'll keep glazing it, but Jimmy, if you like the Looney Tune aspect, I think you're gonna fucking love the second movie.
I hope so. I hope somebody sticks a finger in the barrel and then it blows up backwards.
Everything but maybe in all of his movies.
um so yeah, this is an interesting rating because obviously, you know, you're looking at a movie way back in the day. So like just the simple fact of like a dude just kind of clutching at his chest and falling over, you kind of go, how is this good in today's standards? But I try to, what do you call it? Try to be a little bit more nuanced and look through the layers here. And I just think, just for me, it's the spirit of the movie that is just so fun with a compelling story with cool characters that, not just like a protagonist that's like cool and interesting, but also like um, the villains also are pretty cool and interesting in their own right. The story, I will say, like when I was watching the movie, I didn't realize like the whole aspect of the chick being held captive by the one gang to begin with. And as I was going to turn my head to explain or to ask Robbie like what the hell is going on, they ended up explaining everything like right after the lady like turns and she starts to describe like what's going on. So the plot was initially a little confusing, but that's something that I can look past. All of that to say, I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars. I had a very fun watch, and I was definitely not disappointed in what I saw. And it actually kind of makes me really want to watch Yojimbo just to kind of see the source material and see how this guy got inspired to basically make this movie.
Just to piggyback off of that real quick, I think when we're talking about like when even if it's a movie today, but yeah, when you're talking about old movies and like maybe the effects are something you notice and like kind of put you off, I think one thing to think about is the intent of the movie. Like, is it a movie that's signaling this is an effects movie? Like, if I went into like a Star Wars movie and I'm looking at it and like the effects are like really bad or something, like yeah, that's gonna take away from the movie for me. But like if you did this movie on a stage and just like they had like dollar store guns and they did it that way, the movie would still work. So like I feel like at the end of the day, like with a movie, like sometimes all that really matters is the heart of the story, and then everything else is kind of extra. And I think you basically said that, but I just wanted to frame it that way because I feel like sometimes I do see people talk about old movies, and it's usually younger people, and I think they kind of miss that because they're used to movies a certain way, and things change. I don't know. So
Context is important.
yeah,
Like you have to be aware of when this movie was made, and to add on to what Robbie was saying, like I don't disagree, but I think you can also look at it through a lens of, and again, this is not like that big of an effects heavy movie, but how much of a sheer accomplishment even those effects were.
Yeah.
yeah. There's
Um,
spectacle to this.
you can go
That
back to Buster Keaton and Charles
yeah,
Chaplin, and like, no, they're not very effects heavy movies, but like the things that they were able to pull off practically are fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
Here's a question though, just to kind of maybe like test this theory, or is this like the mentality or like the rationale that has like Citizen Kane as one of people's like all-time best movies ever? Like even though it's like super old, you
Mm,
kind of have to like look back and see it for what it was and like the
mm,
spirit of what it was, or is it just because
sort
that movie is
of,
just so
but
good?
I think that's also a different case because that movie like was ahead of its time in certain ways of like technical
How they
ways,
filmed it.
and it's more of a like drama. So it's not. There's no effects like that stuff. Doesn't really have any weight. But also, I think it became a thing that people just said, and ultimately, I think that's people want to fit in, and I think that's just honestly that's probably what happened. I think people started to say that, and then that just became a thing people say. Um,
There are
but
really
for the
cool
people,
things about
yeah,
Citizen Kane, but it's not the best movie ever made.
yeah.
Hmm. So yeah,
But
four
yeah, like in
stars.
general with old movies, yeah, I would say that's true. Like you look at it in the you gotta sometimes, especially these days, like I think people are like almost overly critical of movies. They sometimes you have to meet a movie where it is. Like you have to meet the movie halfway. Like you have to, if you really like you. I mean, you can be like um hypercritical if you really want to, but you're not going to get anything out of that all the time. You know, like you sometimes you have to meet it there, and if you allow yourself to do that, like you might have a great time. So I think with old movies, you have to keep that in mind and um, just keep yourself open to when it was made, what they're trying to do, and like ultimately if the heart of the story is working for you, because that's really what's important.
Yeah, that's something I approach all movies with. Um, and honestly, if I really hate a movie, it had to really actively work against me having that mindset.
So yeah, I don't know.
Good. Who wants to take the next one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I give this movie 5 stars.
Ooh, ring a ding
I don't
ding.
think
We should
that's
have a
don't.
we should have a
I
sound.
don't think that should surprise anyone here. I love this movie, and we were talking even before. It's like, do I even really have to watch this one again?
Yeah,
Because I've seen this movie maybe 20 times,
yeah.
and I enjoy it every time. Um, and to, I mean, sum up and not repeat myself. Um, one of the things I love about this movie is Jimmy. Everything you said, I agree with, but also it's so ingrained into like the cultural DNA of movies. So many movies have been influenced by this, and so many filmmakers and actors have been influenced by this. Um, and in turn, this movie was influenced by a lot that came before it. So it's very easy to talk about this movie and talk about 50 other movies while you're doing it, um, which is something I enjoy. But also, yeah, this is just a fun, good movie. I'll leave it there.
And yeah, I also gave it 5 stars. I don't have anything extra to say. I feel like we covered everything, but yeah, I mean, I love it. All his movies, I love. It's probably, if you really force me to rank the movies, I would probably put it second,
Mm.
below Good and the Bad and the Ugly. But I love them all for different reasons, and I think they all work in their own way. Um, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great movie. I have the poster on my wall right now, so I love it.
Wow. Look at us. Um, next order of business, I guess, is to do the wheel or to the ducks. I think I can do the ducks on my computer. Duck race pick thing. Um, start gathering your movies now, as we like to do this live. And while we're thinking of movies, you might as well subscribe to the Real Pod Network channel, or go over to the Spotify for these or other beautiful podcasts such as The Yap, where I talk about nothing. And then we have a pro wrestling podcast that we may revive. Who knows? Maybe if wrestling gets good again, we'll talk about it. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, and then I will leave the links to the letter boxes of me, Rob, and Christian, so you can check out all of our thoughts on various movies, because they watch about 30 movies for every one that I watch. So I'll make sure to link that down below. I have a bunch of ads on my screen, which is awesome. There we go. We cleaned it up. So I will be doing this live because I forgot to do this before. There we go. Okay. We're changed, so if we want to start, anybody can start giving me names.
Okay. I'm gonna change because I feel I've been recommending too many movies that I love. So I'm gonna do one movie I hate. Well, yeah. Well, I don't want to give it away. Actually, maybe I shouldn't have said this. Um, Well, I'm gonna try and spread it out, like so it's not just all stuff I love. You know what I mean? So my first movie, I'm gonna say, um, uh, 28 Days Later,
Okay. 28
Joker,
days later.
Days Later, yeah,
Uh-huh.
days. Second, Joker,
Uh-huh.
and third, I'm gonna go with. Let me do something newer. Let me go with. Uh, Damn, I don't know. Maybe I should have Eddington.
Okay. Eddington. What do you do your 3-2, Christian? I'll leave mine for last.
I kind of employed a similar strategy this time around. Sort of. So my first one is going to be weapons.
Okay.
My second one, when you're ready,
I'm ready. Yeah.
is going to be Young Frankenstein.
Young Frank Einstein. People can see
And-
how badly my fucking spelling is.
This one is kind of a troll pick. Mainly, you'll see. Well, Robbie will know already. I'm going to put Amadeus.
Dude, how am I spell that for me?
Amadeus.
E-U-S. Okay.
Can
Dope.
you change Eddington to Sinners? For
Yeah.
me?
Good. All right. My 3 movies. We're going to go with Man on Fire. Good Luck, Chuck.
Oh.
Put that down here. An
It's
Opening
always
Night.
the most random shit. I swear he chat GPT's 3 random movies.
I would never do that. So that's all of our names. I kind of broke them up, so it's not everybody's movies like right next to each other.
Yeah, in a row.
Let me
I got to know what your
share my
third movie is.
screen. Huh?
What's your third movie?
I went Man on Fire, Good Luck Chuck, and Opening Night. So I will share that so you guys can see it live, just like the people
Whoa.
can. Colors and costumes are on. How long do I set the? I'll do 10 seconds.
I would do 20.
Yeah, do 20. Give me some suspense.
Yeah.
Well, next time we do this, we'll have to get like suspense.
Just so I can watch Good Luck Chuck take the lead out of fucking nowhere.
All right, are we ready, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I'll shuffle them. I'll shuffle them a bunch of times, actually. There, now it's truly random. Here we go.
Wow, the horn.
I didn't know it made noise. Wow.
Uh-oh. 28 Days Later is winning, so that means it's not going to win. That means it's not going to win. Somebody else is going to come back and take the lead.
Joker!
No.
Joker!
No!
Ah!
Why did I even say it? Okay.
Everybody give it up for Joker in the Spider-Man duck outfit. That's awesome. Low key. Thank you. It squeaked. Thank you. One of the few movies that I've actually seen twice. Okay. All right, shut up. Stop making the duck.
You've seen it twice?
Yeah. Dude, my cousin, when he first saw it, he was like, "Oh, it's my favorite movie ever." So we'll have thoughts. We'll have thoughts.
Join us next time.
Yes. Any closing remarks for the people before we head out of here?
I don't think it's funny you laughing at my mule.
Hurt his feelings.
I wish I said a different movie.
Damn. Well, that wouldn't have been Eddington anyway. Oh well.
No, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's meant to be.
Remember to drink your Ovaltine. Goodbye.